Hi everyone, I am Nikolay Цыремпилов, the director of the MA in Eurasian Studies program, one of the most popular graduate programs in Kazakhstan and Central Asia. In this presentation, I will tell you about the idea of this program, its history, focus, job perspectives, design of the program, range of courses, and thesis requirements. At the end, I will also share helpful tips that will improve your understanding of how to be a successful applicant to our program, what we expect from your application documents. The first question that comes to one's mind when she or he hears about the MA in Eurasian Studies program is, what is Eurasian Studies? We all know that Eurasia is the largest continent. So how one can study a whole part of the world? Eurasia can be understood not only as a continent. By Eurasian studies, we understand the studies of the hinterland of the Eurasian continent, which historically was the crossroads of the European, Near Eastern, Inner Asian, and East Asian civilizations. Our program is focused on historical, social, cultural, and political developments in this part of the world, in past and present. Kazakhstan, Nur-Sultan, and Nazarbayev University are uniquely and conveniently situated at the very center of Eurasian continent to become a global leader in Eurasian studies. Since early 1990s, the Eurasian region has seen incredible changes at the political, economic, and cultural levels. Such events and phenomena as the disintegration of the USSR, emergence of new independent states, rise of Islam in Central Asia, the One Road, One Belt initiative, wars in Nagorno-Karabakh and Syria, Ukrainian Maidans, restoration of the Taliban regime in Afghanistan, etc., require complex and interdisciplinary analysis of social and political transformations in the region. By providing exceptional opportunities for study in multidisciplinary fields, the program helps academic, teachers, NGO managers, politicians, journalists, and government agencies, employees, to define their place in constantly changing international order. There is a strong demand within contemporary Kazakhstan for internationally credible English medium graduate education in the humanities and social sciences. The MA in Eurasian Studies program is the only one Nazarbayev University can offer to BA degree holders who have graduated in languages, literature, history, ethnography, and regional studies. Given the unique location of Nazarbayev University and the opportunities for linguistic, cultural, and political development offered by SSH, this program already has proven ability to attract not only Kazakhstani or Central Asian, but also broader international students. What makes our program strong and competitive globally are the unique position at the heart of the Eurasian region, the unrivaled concentration of the highly qualified and internationally recognized faculty with research interests in Eurasia, globally competitive, locally and regionally relevant, academically rigorous interdisciplinary program of study, well-developed educational and research infrastructure, dynamic student life, and superb living conditions. In the next few slides, I will tell you about some of the SSH faculty members that are collaborating with our program. Among them is Professor Eurasian, who got his PhD degree from Columbia University, who for 5 years taught at Indiana University and then at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. His research interests and publications concern various aspects of Turkic languages and cultures of the Middle East and Central Eurasia, the history of Turco-Islamic civilization, and modern intellectual movements among the Muslim Turkic peoples of the Ottoman and Russian empires. It is worth knowing that Professor Shamiloglu is the director of the NU doctoral program in Eurasian Studies. Professor Aliba Bisenova is one of the most influential and original intellectuals of contemporary Kazakhstan. She got her PhD degree from Cornell University. Her research interests concern social implications of post-Soviet development through the prism of the changing environment of Kazakhstan cities, newly emerging lifestyles and subjectivities, strategies of mobility, and new religious sensitivities in the urban space. Professor Nicola Pianciola, who recently joined Nazarbayev University, is one of the leading experts in Central Asian and Russian history. He received his PhD from the University of Naples and then for many years taught at Lingnan University, Hong Kong. He has a broad range of research interests, among which are the history of Tsarist and Soviet Asia, Soviet Russia, political history of Russian and Soviet policies in nomadic Central Asia, economy and society in the Turkestan, Xinjiang and Russian Far East, famine in Kazakhstan. Professor Michael Ryan, PhD degree from University of Maryland, is one of the sociologists at SSH, School of Social Sciences and Humanities. Earlier, he taught at the University of Maryland. He studies social scientific responses to the COVID-19 pandemic, trans identity, especially in relation to survey research, and genders and sexualities. Professor Keres Sheng, who got her PhD from Miami University at Oxford. She is one of the leading experts in politics of migration and national identity in Eurasia, trans-border migrations, and state control over migrants. Now, let's talk a little bit on the history of the MA in Eurasian Studies program. The program was established in 2014 and since then graduated 7 cohorts. On this graph, you can observe the gradual growth of the program. In the current 2021, we were able to offer scholarships to 17 students, including 3 international. Unlike any other graduate program at Nazarbayev University and Central Asia in general, MA in Eurasian Studies is a globally competitive one. Every year, numerous international students from Americas, Europe, Africa, and Asia apply for the program, and we accept the most motivated and competitive ones, in this way contributing to the development of global Eurasian and Central Asian studies. We have had or are having students from China, the USA, Mexico, Malaysia, and Spain, yet the majority of our graduates are from different parts of Kazakhstan. After graduation, they find jobs in different spheres. Some of them are now teaching at the Kazakh Humanities and Law University, Alma Management University, Suleiman Demirel University, Nazarbayev Intellectual Schools, Alma U University in Almaty, Ducati University in Taras, etc. 5 of our graduates were recruited by Nazarbayev University and 8 are currently continuing their doctoral studies at the PhD in Eurasian Studies program I mentioned before. Others work in spheres of public policy, business, and mass media. MA in Eurasian Studies students are competitive in the global doctoral programs. We have graduates who continue their studies in PhD programs in Leiden, Free University of Amsterdam, Tübingen, Chicago, Georgetown, St. Louis, Davis, California, Ohio. High academic standards at the MA in Eurasian Studies are achieved thanks to the design of the program. In this, we are following the US standards and especially actively collaborating with the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Our program continues for 2 years for every cohort. During 5 consecutive semesters, each student needs to earn 120 credits. In order to do it, students have to take compulsory and elective courses, most of which give them 8 credits, and then write a thesis. Now let's talk about the compulsory or core courses. They include Introduction to Eurasia, General Methodology, and Qualitative Methods. The first course is an Introduction to the Advanced Study of the Eurasian Region. Students develop the skills to understand and make use of the cutting edge of scholarship on Eurasia in a variety of disciplines: history, anthropology, sociology, literature, etc. General methodology is designed to introduce students to key theories which are relevant across multiple disciplines in the humanities and social sciences. Different faculty members offer their expertise in particular areas. And then qualitative methods introduce students to basic qualitative techniques used to design and carry out research in different disciplines, identifying a topic, data collection, encoding, statistics, interviews, archives. By the end of the first semester, every student has to choose the first and second advisor who will supervise her or his thesis project. From that time on, students meet their advisors once a week and get instructions and assignments from them. All these core courses have to be taken in the first semester. After the winter break, in semester 2, students get a chance to take 2 elective courses, in addition to disciplinary methodology. The course, which is designed to train you in the specific disciplines of your choice and prepares you for your thesis project. By the end of the spring semester, under guidance of their advisors, students have to write a literature review and a detailed plan of their thesis project. As I said, in spring semester, you may also choose 2 elective courses that are relevant to your research project. In the summer semester, program participants will take the summer research and fieldwork practicum, during which students need to collect empirical data for their thesis. Depending on their primary discipline, students conduct interviews and surveys, work with archival materials and statistical records, observe religious rituals and practices, gather GIS data, participate in archaeological excavations, etc. After completion of their fieldwork, students start the second year of the program. In the fall semester, in addition to 2 elective courses, each student needs to take Thesis 1 course, within which she or he will meet regularly with the advisors and write the thesis. Another strong part of our program is that at this stage, we have to find a third advisor for each student. The third advisor should be an established expert in the chosen field from any other university. We are proud that our students at this stage of their studies get a chance to interact with researchers from any university of the world. The third advisor reads each chapter of the thesis and sends his or her feedback to improve the text. In the last semester, students choose only 1 elective course and continue writing their dissertations within Thesis 2 course. By April, they need to finalize their thesis and defend it at Viva Voce examination, which is a public event during which students have to present the results of their research and answer questions from advisors and audience. The final grade is determined by the members of students' thesis committee, which consists of all 3 advisors. This is how the general structure of the program looks like. Now let me say just a few words about the electives SSH offers to our students. In exploring Eurasian environmental history, you will learn about the many ecosystems and natural resources of Central Eurasia, as well as the catastrophic environmental disasters caused by humans, most notably the drying up of the Aral Sea and the explosion of the Chernobyl nuclear power station in Ukraine. The course ANT 520, Materiality in Eurasian Society, focuses on the role of anthropology and archaeology in constructing narrative of things. You will consider numerous archaeological and cultural artifacts and critically evaluate modes for thinking about materiality over time through specific attention to Eurasia from prehistory to the present day. SOC 325, COVID-19, the social cultural aspects of the pandemic, is aimed to shape your understanding of the global and regional causes, impacts and consequences of the COVID-19 pandemic from a social scientific perspective. SOC 310, Social Inequality, examines how societies are socially stratifying and the ways in which inequality is shaped by class, race, ethnicity, and gender, among other social divisions. You will look at how social institutions, including the family, the educational system, the economy and workplace, and the media, are key in both creating and reproducing inequalities. Finally, you will examine the role of the state, non-government organizations, and individuals in reducing social inequality. WLL 540, Oral Epic in Central Asia. This course examines the oral epics of Central Asia. Students will read selections of Turkic, Persian, and Mongolian epics, together with scholarship on the genre of epic and of oral literature more broadly. REL 572, History of Sufism in Central Asia. This course will provide a broad survey of Sufism and the Islamic mystical traditions, with a particular focus on the history of Sufism and the Sufi orders in the Middle East and Central Asia and Kazakhstan. Since we get many questions from our potential students about the requirements we set for thesis project, I will say a couple of words on it, even if I will have to repeat some things I have said before. Thesis adds 40 ECTS, or credits, or 30% of all the credits. The text should be within 15,000 to 25,000 word limits, roughly 30 to 50 pages. You will write your thesis under supervision of 3 advisors, first, second, and external. The first and second advisors should represent the disciplines you identified as your primary and secondary. Since our program is interdisciplinary, your research may be conducted in one or more disciplinary fields: anthropology, sociology, history, linguistics, literature, political science, and hence your advisors should represent the fields of your interest. You will need to defend your thesis during viva voce examination. Your thesis will be available to public via Nazarbayev University Library Depository. Here is some sample titles of the dissertations our former students defended in previous years: Shuttle Trading in Kazakhstan, Oral History of Women Traders and Their Children, Return Motivations, Post-Return Life and Transnationalism of Kazakh Repatriates, Building a Corpus of Journalistic Kazakh Language using Neural Networks for Automated Part-of-Speech Tagging, The Study of the Armenian Apostolic Church in the Mongol Empire, Art Bazaar, a new virtual domain in the Kazakhstani art field during the COVID-19 crisis, Legitimacy and Authority of Folk Medicine Practitioners in Post-Soviet Kazakhstan, Restrained by Uyat, Shame, Culture of Dating and Romantic Relationships among Urban Kyrgyz Youth. Now let me give you a few important tips that can help you to be more competitive in the application process. Before you start preparing your application package, make sure to do the following. Explore SSH website. Learn about our faculty, research projects, and course offering. If possible, try to find and talk to former or current MA in Eurasian Studies students. Think well of your research interests and topics. What research project is especially interesting to you? Find relevant recommenders. They need to be the people who know you well and who can provide real assessment of your best qualities. Keep in mind that the personal statement, which should be no more than 500 words, plays a crucial role. This is something the admissions committee members read very carefully, and their understanding of who you are and how prepared you are for the program, for the most part, comes from this text. Try to answer the following questions in your statement. Why Eurasian Studies? Why have you chosen this program? Do you have a special interest in the region, and why? If you are applying to other NU programs or graded programs at other universities, don't hesitate to say about it. It will not decrease your chances in being accepted, but will tell us about your strong motivation in getting higher education. It is very important to tell us more about your research interests. What have you already studied? What field of knowledge you are especially passionate about? Did you always love history or reading or loved reading fiction? What shaped your interest? What particular period you are interested in? It is extremely important to be very specific in your personal statement. Too general ideas and statements represent weaknesses of your proposal. Tell us about your possible research topic or topics. Don't think you will be obliged to do what you specified after being accepted, but as more specific you are, as better we understand you as a person. Who would you like to work with? Show us that you cared about learning more details of the program and our faculty members. Don't hesitate to mention a couple of names whose profiles especially impressed you. You can even mention the courses you would choose and explain briefly why. Another important thing is the quality of your recommendations. Some people may think that reference letters are mere formality and will make a mistake. Actually, your recommendations are very closely reviewed by all committee members. Your reference letters should be from the people who know you well, but of course not simply your parents, relatives, or friends who cannot be objective. Most likely your recommenders include your former professors, colleagues, and employers, as well as other collaborators, say leaders of volunteer programs you participated in. We can easily see when reference letters are written too formally or half-heartedly. Don't use standard reference letters downloadable from internet. We will simply ignore such letters. Your recommendations should be real and original. This is all I wanted to tell you about our program and the application process. I hope this presentation will help you make decisions to apply and improve the quality of your application documents. Feel free to send me your questions or feedback to my email. I hope to see you as our students in the near future. Good luck!